Hello and welcome back again. This is going to be our last session looking at side sword and buckler. Previously what we've looked at is how we use the buckler, so in terms of how we parry with it, a little bit of how we can attack with it, and multiple ways we can use it in combination with the side sword to defend and attack simultaneously. So now we have the situation where we've trained our opponent is a trained bucklerist, and I need to now find a way to actually deal with the buckler. Because otherwise, I know that as soon as I attack my opponent, they will defend with the buckler, and I will end up dead. And that's not really what I want to do. So this last video, I just want to cover a few ways that we can try and get around the buckler and still attack our opponent. Now, the first thing we have to realize of our tricks that we use predominantly, the beat is of absolutely no use to us. By the fact of it being a shield, I can pummel on this all day, it is not moving anywhere. I am not going to smash this out of the way unless I'm actually able to lay my offhand on it. But by that point, I've probably been stabbed. So we're not going to look at beating. So primarily what we're going to be looking at is feigning. So I'm going to be looking to make him move the buckler and attack where the buckler isn't. The problem is, the buckler is quite fast because he's not moving it very far. So if I standard one that I would look at might be if I attacked in for the hip here, we can drop that. But it's very easy in the time it will take me to disengage for a high line. All he has to do is raise the buckler back up again. So I'm not going to be able to count on things working quite that quickly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a few techniques that I've found to be quite helpful. And most of them involve going around. Yeah? So the first thing we're going to look at is I want him to block with the buckler, and I want him to do it on the other side. Because as you can see, that opens up this arm to me. Yeah? So what I can do quite nicely is I can come in for that attack, yeah? And then all I've got to do is change the angle, and I will get the angle to hit the arm. If I come in here, little bit of footwork added, that arm becomes quite targeted. The problem is though, he's not just going to block. If he's saying Conalunga distress to bring the tail out behind, as I come into attack, he's going to parry and also bring that sword in here to kill him. So if I do a nice little tricky thing here, well that's a double, and that's worth nothing. So what I'm going to have to do is, as I do this, I need to move. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to deliver my strike here, but I'm actually going to do it with some really weird footwork. I'm going to do it with an inkatata behind me. So my attack comes in here, but that allows me to step back to guard, finish my inkatata and strike here. Now I'm out of the reach of his sword. Yeah? Just! He has longer arms than me and I have a lot of belly. But I'm at least slightly out of range. So what I'm going to do is I'll come in here, feign across here, and then finish my attack here, leaving me quite out of distance, but I've taken the strike to his hand. So that's one option that I've got, is that I can feign around the shield in that way. Trying to move the other way can also work, because if he's primed to try and use the buckler, he can tie himself up in knots. So for example, if he is in Conalunga Stressor, so if he's across here, if I attack on this line, and he drops the buckler to catch it, he's now already cut off the most obvious line for his own attack. Yeah? He's starting to come around across here. So I can start to use some of that to tie him up and predict what he's going to do, so I'm actually then going to move in closer. So what I can do is if I do my attack here, he parries, I know he's going to have to come in with something. This is where I'm going to then switch up to my guarded detester as I close in, and now I can control the buckler to actually land for a strike. You have to get really in close to do this one. It's not one I like, but it does work. So from here, if I attack here, I know its attack's coming in, got to come in high, going to catch it, pull through here. Yeah, you ready for that one now? So if I come in, he's being stressing, yeah, there we go. Proper buckler guard, come on now. Right, so from here, I come in with my attack. I know it's coming in over the top. Then push it, control, strike. It's another option. The other option that I really like, and this appears particularly in Mantrolino, is using the false edge with what we refer to as a cheeky montante. So this is an upward strike with the false edge. And the way I'm going to deliver this is normally after I've done something that makes him feel smug and safe. So if I attack into his shield with a fendente, like this, he feels quite smug that he didn't die. And he may well take a swing at me, but again, I'm moving across, so he's not going to hit me. Yeah, I'm safe. Yeah? But he's safe, because all I did was smack his buckler and make a bit of noise. But from here, that flips back up under the shield to catch the arm with the false edge. It's not going to kill him, but in a duel situation, it's going to be a palpable hit, and it's going to make him bleed, and anything that makes him bleed is good for me. So from here, I get his attention, and there I have the false edge right the way across the inside of his wrist. I draw the cut across there, and he's going to be in quite a horrible state. So there's three little tricks that you can use for start getting around the buckler. Now, of course, what gets even better is if I've got a buckler, things get even more confusing. So we now have a situation where we're equally armed. So what will normally happen if you don't think strategically about things is Andrew will come in for an attack, which I will parry. And then I will take an attack, which Andrew will parry. And that's just kind of a useless situation there. If we do the timing better, Andrew attacks, and then as he'll recover as I'm attacking, and then it's his turn to attack again, and we can get into this lovely pattern until Andrew doesn't read what I'm doing and gets hit in the arm, because I haven't told him what he's doing, he's just reacting here. So, we get this kind of back and forth problem that we have with a lot of fighting. So I've got to think about what I'm going to do. So when the attack comes in, I'm definitely going to parry that, and I'm going to launch a counter strike at the same time. But if I just launch the attack, his shield's going to be in the way. Even if I do it on a better line than that, he's going to drop the shield. However, he's now trying to think about multiple things, and I will need much less trickery to get around that buckler if he's thinking about multiple things. So as he comes in for that attack, I can feign low, and then I'm just going to raise that up for a fendente to the side of the head. So, block, feign low, raise at the last minute, slice into the head. I can do that by cutting over as well, same tactic, go low, cut over the top for my strike to the arm. I can use the same thing again. It's a lovely entry, this one. From here, go low, over the top, finish in an imbricata. So there's numerous ways I can start to think about how I can get around his shield. If I want to be really, really smug though, I'm going to encourage him to do a counter thrust. Yeah? So if I attack on this side using my intagliata, the urge then is to not take the shield because I've moved so far out, and instead counter thrust directly into my chest or my face. Yeah, chest is very nice to do since I'm not wearing a mask, thank you very much. So from here, I can do this attack where I'm stepping across here, boom, I know that's going to come. Now, obviously, he wants to be worried about this hand, so as a well-trained bucklerist, he's going to put his shield on top of that to stop any damage coming in. So from here, I come in with my cut as I move across, and he's covered here, which is brilliant. Yeah? He feels really nice and safe here. Yeah? This is where we're going to get into the in-close play, which can be nice and fun. So from here, again, my attack comes in, Andrew parries, he's covered with the buckler. I bring my buckler up, come over the top, and cut between his buckler. Oh, actually, he decided to move his buckler down, so he ended up getting hit in the side. So, again, sorry, if I attack, he blocks. Come on, Andrew, here we go. Yeah, from here, take control, switch over to the top, and then from here, if he's got that sitting on top rather than sitting down, I can cut up underneath his shield. Yeah? Well, if that doesn't work, if he is covering as he was doing there, instead of cutting, I'm going to push, sorry, bring it back up, I'm going to push my whole hand in to control, and then get my draw cut across the chest. So it can get a bit messy. You have to be prepared to get a bit creative, inventive. This is not a game you can play as subtly as, say, Dagger. You're going to have to get your hands dirty and get in there a bit. But anyway, a few options there for getting around the sword and buckler. Predominantly, standard process, parry, and remember to feign when you're going in for your counter-attack. Other than that, if you've only got a single sword, you've got to start working predominantly to the buckler side, trying to get the angle around and trying to catch that outside arm, or your cheeky montante up underneath are your best options for getting a decent entry strike. And once he's bleeding and lowering his arm, you've got a much better chance of getting a proper body hit. So, hopefully you found that interesting. That does take us to the end of our little series on sword and buckler. And we'll return shortly with something else. I'm sure I haven't thought of what it's going to be yet. But hopefully you found it useful and you can add it along with the dagger and single side sword stuff we've covered previously. And hopefully just continues to expand a bit of your understanding and also just seeing a little bit of what's out there with some of the offhand weaponry and side sword. So until we meet again, take care, catch you later.